Hello everybody. Right, now I've been threatening to do this video for a little while now, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, I've put off doing it because I feel like a bit of a fraud, but I seem to be getting a bit of interest. The thing is, I've got my own YouTube channel, right? And it's basically, I started when I started driving a van. I was a street market trader for 25 years, and I started driving a van, and I started doing these videos about this thing called the courier exchange. And a few people chipped up about, you know, a couple of my Eastern European friends and some other geezers as well have come on and gone, like the accent. And I did a video a long time before all that about how to do money in Cockney, and another one how to count to 10 in Cockney. Now, like I say, I have been putting off doing this video for a little while for two reasons. Well, I can't remember the first one, but for the main reason is, two reasons. Firstly, I ain't a Cockney. Now, technically, the thing is, you see, there's a load of videos out there, and they're all like, how to speak Cockney with Jason Statham. It's actually quite a good one. And there's some comical videos, what you say, you know, but there's no one actually doing videos who's lived it. Now, I ain't a Cockney. To be a Cockney, technically, you have to be born in the sound of Bow Bell. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be born in Bow, because Bow is kind of Stratford, East London, that kind of way. Bow Bell is actually St Mary's Le Bow, which is like kind of Bart's Hospital, Smithfield's way, I think. Dave the courier driver, Dave the taxi driver, may correct me on that one, but I think that's basically the size of things. The other reason I've been doing these videos for a little while is I don't actually speak like this. I speak like this. This is probably my normal voice. I'm from Luton, and when I talk to my wife and when I talk to my mother-in-law, I talk like this. But the thing is, we change. Believe it. Everyone's going to go, no, I don't change. I'm always the same. You change with the people you speak to. When you're speaking to your mates down a pub, you sound different to when you're speaking to the posh lady, and when you're speaking to the lady in the cafe, and when you're speaking to the bricklayer. You change. Everybody changes. If you might think you don't, my wife says I never change. She come back to me 2 days later. She'd been out with one of her mates drinking. She went, do you know what, you're dead right. I heard myself and went, I don't normally sound like this. So, like I say, I ain't a Cockney, and I do lay it on a bit thick sometimes, but I lived it. The reason it happens is because you go to market and then suddenly you're surrounded by all these people and you want to be part of it. You want to be part of the group. You want to know the jargon. You want to be part of the club. It happens everywhere. If you're in tech, if you work in computers, they talk about RS-232 interface leads and all that kind of stuff. Things I don't understand. I'm now a courier driver. I talk about pods, PODs. 2 years ago, I didn't know what a POD was. I thought it was a pair of shoes. But you want to be part of the club. So what happens is, you know, like I say, after 25 years of working in Camden and working in Hackney and working the Elephant, I ended up sounding like this. And so I'm doing a video. I'm doing a few videos for those that are interested. Some for my mates that watch the Courier Channel thing, because for a lot of my Eastern European friends, they say, well, I want to listen to you because I want to know what it sounds like. And I'm trying to, I'm trying to work it out. And some it might be entertaining. So a few, so the first one, if this flies, this is the first one. If it don't, it's the only one. Do's and don'ts. When trying to speak Cockney, if you want to try and speak Cockney, basically, don't. It's an error, you know, because if you get it wrong, you know, they're going to look at you going, what are you talking about? If you want to learn to speak Cockney, go to Wilson, get a job in a bus garage, or go down to Essex and get yourself a job as a chippy. Give it 5 years, it'll happen. Admittedly, or go do the knowledge, or get a job on the market. Go do the knowledge, become a black cab driver. Wouldn't recommend it. But if you do decide to go for it, yeah. Sorry about that. Don't lay it on too thick. If you lay it on too thick, you'll end up sounding like Danny Dyer. You will sound like a pantomime character. Got nothing against the guy, but sometimes watching him on the TV going like, it don't sound like that, Danny. You know it don't. Might be entertaining for the masses, but it don't. So what I'm going to do, moving forward, I'm going to do one on pronunciation. I'm going to do one on words we don't use. Oh, and another cardinal rule. If it's firstly, if it's apples and pears, don't say apples and pears, say apples. You know, it's like, it's, I'm trying to think. If you for the word two, we say a bottle. We don't say it's a bottle of glue, because that kind of gives the game away, because it sounds like two. We go, it's a bottle. Secondly, when it comes down to apples and pears, don't say apples. If you say, I'm going up the apples to bed, someone's going to look at you like, what? Or you say, it's at the apples. The apples? What are you talking about? Was it on a fruit stall? You know, some things we do, some words we use, some we don't. And a lot of the slang also, it's not, there's a lot of Yiddish in there, there's a lot of other things, you know, certain things which just aren't rhyming slang is used more often than not. So I'll do some basic words, I think, words to describe, do's and don'ts, that kind of stuff. So basically this is it. If it works, I'm going to do a few on how to speak Cockney. If it doesn't, there's another 2 out there. There's one on how to count to 10 in Cockney, and there's one on how to talk money in Cockney. Both of those work. If you use them and you go to East London or you go to North London, and that's another thing. It's like anything. It's like anywhere in the country. Certain places have their certain slangs. You can go to one part of town and they'll know what you're talking about. And you go to another part and they ain't got a clue. Which is weird, you know, you get your own ones, but I'll cover that in the future anyway. Probably. It's just a bit of fun. And in the meantime, if you don't want to learn about speak Cockney, there's also a pile of videos out there about how to drive a van. That's interesting, isn't it? Anyway, what I normally say is, take care, take money. I ain't got a catchphrase for these yet. I'll come up with one. In the meantime, see you later.